So my next guest grabs hold of some powerful claims like a few seconds each day can shift your entire perspective. And your phone can be a powerful tool for mindfulness. Also, you can connect with the world around you by taking just 2 photos a day. This is a concept, an idea inspired by Emily P. Freeman. She's a New York Times best-selling author, a podcaster, a spiritual director, and she's joining us today to share more about this concept. Emily, I'm so tickled to have your voice and your presence, your energy part of Studio 5. Thank you for being here.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
So you have a unique and I'll say a very meaningful daily photo practice. Can you tell us about this?
Well, every day I take just 2 photos within about 5 seconds of each other. First, I look down at my shoes, wherever I'm standing, it's usually outside, and snap that photo. And then it will capture whatever's around, the grass, the gravel. And then I look straight up 1 second later and capture whatever is above me. And that's it. And, you know, we hear the dangers of having our phone in our pocket all the time, but this is one of the gifts for me that I can see kind of what was I doing looking down, and then you look up and see this is what the sky looked like that day.
Well, unwrap that gift for us, if you will. What is your intention or the purpose behind these 2 simple snaps?
You know, I am a big believer in the power of reflection. And this is one way for me to reflect without actually using any words. You know, when I started this practice at the beginning of this year, I do it every day. It might sound so silly and small, but it's a way for me to engage in documenting my days without having to necessarily write anything down. We don't always have time to journal a page of what's happening in that day, but I do have time for just 2 images above and below. And then over time, when I scroll back through my camera roll, I like to see the seasons change over time, and it's kind of a little trigger of reminding me where I've come from and maybe even where I'm headed.
It's really poetic, actually, kind of romantic, really lovely to think of like your feet pointing a certain way or planted in a certain place, and also thinking of just the sunshine above, right? Or even the clouds above and how that shaped your day and your life. I'm curious to know, Emily, do you find that it's more powerful in the moment, because you have to pause, right? You have to think. It's really a connection point in your day, I'm sure. Is it more powerful in the moment, or is it more powerful when you do that hindsight scroll that you described on your phone and look back on all of the steps and seasons?
I really believe in the power of reflection, and to me, reflection happens as we live our life. So I'm not one of those who waits till the end of the year to reflect on my life. I like to kind of do it as I go. But the perspective change comes in very small doses. You know, we are impressed by huge changes and we're compelled by it, and that's kind of what is lauded in culture. But to me, it's the small ones that are often the most impactful, even just the small remembering to take that photo every day. And so I think I would probably answer your question by saying it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But if you don't have time for that 48-hour retreat to kind of get in touch with where you are and be grounded, I think I can at least find time for 1 minute a day.
It is amazing, though, that retrospect, that reflection when you look at a photo, when you look back on a photo, even if it was just taken a few hours prior, what that does, right, for the spirit and for the soul, and how you can feel blessings and gratitude and relationships through those snapshots. So I appreciate you giving us a positive thing to do with our phone that will have real meaning and payoff. You described this practice, this 2 photos a day, as both creative and also as a form of prayer. I want to ask you about both of those separately if I can. What's the creative benefit from this?
I've always loved taking photos. I've never done it professionally, but I like the creative part of kind of like framing it. And, you know, if I'm facing the sun, that's going to be a different photo than if you turn the other direction. So it doesn't take a lot of pre-planning, but I do like that idea of like, oh, how can I make this look like just like 2% more interesting than if I were to just not think about it? Yeah, a little bit artsy.
And then the prayer point. How do you see this as a point of prayer in your day?
Well, you know, just to be completely honest, when I'm taking these photos, I'm not necessarily, you know, thinking about majorly spiritual things, but pausing, even just for a few minutes, a few seconds to see where I am right now, where I'm standing, what's above me. It's a way to remind myself that I am rooted somewhere. And these 2 simple photos, like, can that really do much? You know what? I don't know for sure, but if it has a chance of doing something, of reminding me that I have both an outer life and an inner life, and that I am not alone in this world, if there's a chance that that can do something good for me, that's a chance I'm willing to take.
Lovely, lovely. And, you know, I find myself thinking, I don't know if even 20 years ago we would consider such a simple pause as a meaningful one, but I think it speaks to the pace outside of ourselves, right? The fast-paced nature of our world and our society and our communities, that it does feel really meaningful, actually, as what you described as a simple practice. It does feel like something. So thank you so much for sharing it with us. I have a feeling a lot of women are going to try this on and try this out and adopt this form of little meaningful connections. You share beautiful thoughts of spiritual direction every day. Tell us where we can connect with you, Emily.
You can find me everywhere at Emily P. Freeman, Instagram, online. I also have an app called The Quiet Collection, which is a contemplative resource that provides prayers and meditations through various seasons and stages of life. So I'd love to see you there.
Awesome. I recently dipped into your podcast, and I'm a fan. So thanks for all the good you're putting out in the world.
Thank you.